What is like your number one tip for couples?
Communicate, over communicate.
Uh-huh.
I think that's one of the biggest things, because a lot of people, it's the things that are not being said that are really affecting someone. So it's like you communicating, like I say, over communicating.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to figure out what's really going on, because a lot of times, oh, we're saying too much, or we feel like a burden, and I don't want to talk too much about this, or he has this project going on, so I don't want to bother him with those things. But it's like, that's not how it works. They're your support.
Yeah, and can't read your mind either.
Exactly. So over communicate. If you think it's stupid, did you want the bacon on your sandwich, or did you want the mayo? Like, say everything. Yeah, I love that, saying everything. But a lot of people, it's hard.
Yeah.
People just don't know what to say and how to say it. So if you say everything, it makes it a lot easier.
So what's the common struggle that people are coming in with then?
Lack of communication.
Why don't we want to communicate?
They're afraid of the responses. A lot of people, they want to preserve the good and the happiness that's going on. So if I don't say anything, I don't rock them, then
we can
we're
keep
good.
The peace.
Yeah. Yeah. But that doesn't make any sense. No. We have to rock the boat sometimes. Sometimes rocking the boat is going to bring you closer. But if you guys talk about it, then you potentially still could preserve what's going on. But maybe I needed to address this in a different way. Yes. And if I didn't talk about it, then we're never going to resolve it. But a lot of people do that. We ignore a lot of problems, and we have 15 years of built up tension between one another. That's the same thing with friendships too.
And there's like no depth then too.
For sure.
Because it's like, because then we're like not acknowledging like our deeper desires and what we actually want. Because it's like, oh well, if I just take this little bit, like it's enough.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, then we're never gonna really go deep, and then we're like living with a stranger.
For sure. And that's when people, venture out, unfortunately, and do things, or start talking more with their friends than they would with their spouse.
That part.
It's true. And that's the part that makes it tough. Talk to your spouse.
Yeah.
Like I say, over communicate. Let them know what's going on. It doesn't mean the preservation won't be there. You can still have a long lasting marriage. You can still have a long lasting relationship and a friendship too, because that's a part of a relationship.
I think so too. It's like your built-in best friend.
Yes, for sure. But when you talk to your best friend, you wouldn't withhold stuff from your best friend.
Yeah.
So you got to let them know what's going on.
I'm curious, what if your partner's not a talker?
There's journals. There's different means of communication. So like for me, I am so he'll need to write things down, or he'll voice note things when I'm not present, and then I'll listen to it later on.
Nice.
So that way he can feel like, he's having an uninterrupted communication, because even though I'm a therapist, that doesn't mean that I don't interject, when I shouldn't. So he likes to do things in that way. And I think it's great to journal those thoughts out, especially so that way you don't forget them, and then present them to one another. Because, texts are great, and I text all the time, but it's not always the best when you're trying to have the most serious conversations, because I'm going to think about, what tone is he using? What is he actually saying in this thing? I make a lot of assumptions.
Me too.
And I don't like to do that. So let's just talk.
I agree. And then I think it also gets like super petty and passive aggressive really easily.
Oh, yes. For sure.
Because I'm not like seeing how my words are actually impacting you. So it's easy to like hit below the belt. Yeah. And I'm like.
Yeah. But that's also the other coin of a text is I get time to reflect. So that part is nice, because, in an in-person conversation, I'm kind of on the spot. I need to say something. I need to resolve it. But with the text, I said it always works, but I have the ability to reflect on what I'm saying. It's like, oh, let me erase this whole thing.
Yes.
That was out of line. that was so out of pocket for me to do that, for sure. So I think about those things.